You have probably heard this 100 times. SQL doesn't scale, use NoSQL. It sounds smart, it's repeated everywhere, and it has caused more bad architecture decisions than almost any other line in our industry. Here's the truth. Modern SQL databases scales fine for the vast majority of applications you will ever build. NoSQL isn't a scaling upgrade, it's a different tool for different shapes of data. In the next 10 minutes, I am going to give you 4 question decision tree that takes 30 seconds. You walk down the tree, you stop where it says stop, and you walk out of every interview and every architecture meeting knowing exactly which one to pick. Let's get into it. First, let's be clear about what these words actually mean. Most of the confusion in this debate is just sloppy vocabulary. SQL is a query language. It's the thing you type. The database people call SQL databases, Postgres, MySQL, SQLite, SQL Server, they all share the same shape. Your data lives in tables with fixed columns. Tables connect to each other through keys. You can ask complex questions that join multiple tables in a single query. NoSQL is not one thing. The name literally just means not SQL. Under that umbrella, you will find 4 very different kinds of databases. Document stores like MongoDB, key value stores like Redis and DynamoDB, wide column stores like Cassandra, and graph databases like Neo4j. Each is good at very different things. Lumping them together is like lumping motorcycles, trucks, and bicycles into a category called not cars. Stick this in your brain forever. SQL is one thing, NoSQL is a whole family of things, united only by what they are not. So when someone asks, should I use SQL or NoSQL? The honest answer starts with another question, which NoSQL and for what kind of data? Here's a picture that's going to stick. A SQL database is a spreadsheet. A NoSQL database is a stack of sticky notes. Picture a spreadsheet. Every row has the same columns, name, city, amount spent. If you add a new row, it has to have those columns. If you want to ask who is in California spent more than $100 last month, the spreadsheet can answer that. The columns line up. The formulas work. The data has a shape and the shape is enforced. Now picture a shoebox full of sticky notes. Each note is one customer. But here's the thing. Anita's note say her name, her city and her shopping cart. Ravi's note has his name, his email, his loyalty points and nothing about a city. Lynn's note is a half the size and just has a tags on it. Every note is its own little word. If you want to find Anita's, easy. Her name is written on the top of her sticky note. You grab it, done, microseconds. But if you want to ask who lives in California and spend more than $100, good luck. You have to pull every note out of the box, read it, check if it is even has a city field, check if it has even a spent field and tally up the answer yourself. The shoebox doesn't help you. That's the whole tension. Spreadsheets are great at cross-cutting questions. Sticky notes are great at grabbing one thing fast. Pick the wrong one and your life becomes very hard. Pick the right one and the database does the work for you. There are 3 reasons this argument never dies. Reason 1, marketing. Around 2010, every NoSQL vendor sold their database as the one that scales. It made for a great conference talks and it left a generation of engineers believing SQL had a scaling problem it never really had. Reason 2, real history. There was a window, maybe 10 years ago, when SQL databases genuinely struggled past a certain size. Tools like Postgres have caught up massively since then. Today, Postgres handle workloads that would have required a fleet of NoSQL servers a decade ago. Reason 3, different jobs. Some real applications truly are a better fit for NoSQL. A session store, a product catalog with wildly varying field, a massive write-heavy logs of events. There are real cases. They are just much rarer than people think. The right question is never which scales better. The right question is which one fits the shape of my data and my access pattern. Okay, let's get to the decision tree. 4 questions. You go top to bottom. Stop at the first S that makes you somewhere. Question 1. Does your data looks like a spreadsheet with a fixed column and a clear relationship between tables? Users have orders. Orders have line items. Line items reference product. If that's your world, use SQL, Postgres or MySQL. Don't think twice. This is 90% of business application you will ever build. Question 2. Do you need ACID transaction? Meaning money moving, inventory changing, orders being placed, where if any one step fails, the whole thing has to roll back cleanly. Use SQL. Transactions are SQL home turf. NoSQL can do them in some cases, but they are harder, weaker, and full of food guns. Don't fight the tool. Question 3. Is your data mostly independent document that you fetch by an ID, where each document might have a different fields and you almost never need to join across them? A user profile, a blog post, a product entry with 30 optional fields. That's a NoSQL territory. Reach for the document store like MongoDB or a key value store like DynamoDB. The flexible schema saves you, and the fetch by ID pattern is what these databases were built for. Question 4. Do you need extreme writes throughput on a simple keys at a scale where one server isn't enough? Think a billion writes a day, a logging pipeline, an event fire hose. This is the only place NoSQL scales better. Is actually true. Cassandra, DynamoDB, similar system, they were designed to spread right across a huge cluster on day 1. If you got to the bottom and none of the 4 was yes, the answer is SQL. Default to SQL. You almost certainly don't need NoSQL. You have seen entire startup built on single Postgres instance handling all their traffic just fine. Notice what's not on these 3. Will my app go viral and need to scale? Not a question. Scale is solvable for both. The shape of your data is what locks you in. I want to be honest with you about something most courses won't tell you. The good news about SQL is the most battle tested software on the planet. The query language is powerful. You get joins, transaction, mature tooling, decades of expertise on Stack Overflow, and it really does scale further than people give it credit for. The bad news about SQL, schema changes can be painful at scale. Adding a column to a billion row table is not a 5-second operation. And some data like deeply nested, varying shape documents genuinely doesn't fit comfortably in rows and columns. The good news about NoSQL flexible schema, massive horizontal scale on simple key-based access, lightning fast for the pattern it was designed for. The bad news about NoSQL, you give up joins. You often give up strong consistency. You think you are escaping schema, but really you are moving the schema into your application code where the bug live. And the moment a product manager asks a question that crosses 2 collections, you are writing a code to do what SQL would have done in 3 lines. When not to switch to NoSQL? When the only reason you are switching is because someone said it scales better. That's not engineering, that's a cargo cult. 4 questions this video has set you up to answer. Question 1. When would you pick SQL or NoSQL? When my data has a clear relationship, fixed structure, and I need a transactional integrity. Most business application, Postgres is my default. Question 2. When would you pick NoSQL over SQL? When the data is mostly independent document fetched by a key, has a flexible field, or when I need write throughput beyond what a single SQL server can handle. Question 3. Why is the claim NoSQL scale better than SQL is misleading? Because it confuses 2 different problems. SQL scales fine for the workload most apps actually have. NoSQL only beat SQL when you specifically need a horizontal write scaling on simple key access. That's a niche, not a default. Question 4. What's the biggest hidden cost of choosing NoSQL? Losing joins and transaction. You don't pay that cost on day 1. You pay it the first time you need to answer a cross collection question. And you realize you have to write an application code to do what SQL would have done for free. Those 4 answers alone will set you apart in any system design interview. Before you go, take 30 seconds to log this in. Takeaway 1. The choice about the shape of your data, not about scale. SQL feeds relational data, NoSQL feeds independent documents and high-right key value patterns. Takeaway 2. Walk the 4-question tree, spreadsheet shape, ACID transaction, independent document or extreme write throughput. Stop at the first S. Takeaway 3. When in doubt, default to SQL. Postgres has solved more problems than any database in history and it will probably solve yours too. In the next video, we are going to look at indexes, why one tiny addition to table can turn a 10-second query into a 1 millisecond query, and why adding too many can quietly destroy your write performance. If this helped you, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. The full playlist is in the link below. See you in the next one.